Right, today I'm gonna do a tear down and repair of this Vipertek 230 million volt flashlight stun gun. And there are a lot of these for sale on eBay, Amazon, and many other websites. And this one I'm looking at here is the one from eBay, which is currently selling for about $10. And the seller is VIP Deals. And look at this, there are 3,000, almost 3,400 items sold. So this thing is pretty hot item. And here is the exact same one, but this one I bought a long time ago, probably about 5 years ago, and I paid a little bit more, I think about $15. And the price has decreased quite a bit now, but I already disassembled everything here. Here's the battery pack, and this is the signature red label heavy duty stun gun made in China. It was on the, I think on the side somewhere around here, wrapped around like that. And this is a very popular stun gun. And this is the wire where you plug in your 120 volts AC, plug it in the back here, and charge your battery. The problem with this stun gun is that the battery doesn't last too long. Actually, it's got many problems, but the main problem is the battery doesn't last too long, and I keep having to plug it in the wall outlet, and only use for a few times before the battery just gave up and doesn't work anymore. So today I'm going to show you how to take this apart and show you what's inside this thing and how to repair it and replace the battery. And I don't just replace this battery, I think I'm going to make it better by using an 18650 battery. That way I can recharge the battery instead of I can recharge this using my RC charger or any regular 18650 charger instead of this battery pack, which I have to plug in a wall outlet. And also I'm gonna replace the flashlight, the LED light. This LED here is pretty dim and it's not really bright, so I'm going to replace it with this LED. This is a 3-watt LED, and I think it's about 10 times as bright as this LED. Alright, so first, to remove the bottom, there are 2 screws. So one screw right here, one screw on the other side. The screw is pretty small, it's about this size. And you can pull out the bottom, and then you have to remove the 2 screw on the front, which is under the red label. So you have to peel off the label on here, peel it off. Underneath you will see two more screws, one here, one on the other side. When you unscrew that, you can pull the head out. Okay, you can see here, this is a screw hole on this side, one more on this side. Okay, and then you can pull the head out. Also, there are 2 more screws on the switch. So one here and one there. But to remove the screws, you have to peel off the black label. It's underneath the label, like that. And then you actually can't remove the switch because it's soldered onto the wiring here. So I'm just gonna keep it like that for now. I'll have to repair it later, because look at the wires. This is a very bad soldering job. All the wires are exposed and sorting out with one another. So that's why it didn't really work really well. And all the wires are sorting out. Same here on the bottom. There's no insulation or anything. Look at that. So it's got to be done better. And let me show you why plugging this into a wall outlet to charge this thing is a bad idea. Here is where you plug in the wall outlet, 120 volt AC. And look at the inside of this. The wires coming out of it is just bare wire. Look at that. There are absolutely no insulation at all. And I've seen some of these. This one got a plastic casing, right? But there are some of these got aluminum casing. And if this, see the bare wiring? If that touched the wall of the casing and you're holding the flashlight, you're gonna be the first one to get shocked before anyone else. So it's ironic that you're buying this probably for self-defense. Probably the first thing in your mind, right? But the first one who got electrocuted is you. Before anyone else. Plug this in the wall, hold the flashlight, and boom, you get electrocuted. Also, let me show you the charging circuit of this thing. So the wire from 120 volt AC from the mains go in that plug right there. Let me peel out the wire. See that? Two exposed wire. That's 120 volt AC coming out. Coming in and go to the capacitor. That's only a capacitor and an IC. That's it. That is a charging circuit right there. And that goes straight to the battery pack. This battery pack, which contains 4 nickel metal hydride battery, 1.2 volts. So 4 of these in series produce 1.2 volt times 4, and that is 4.8 volts. 4 of these in series is just a little bit more than this, which is 4.2 volts. But I think it should work with this stun gun. And this is what I'm going to replace. I'm going to replace the single 18650 4.2 volts with this pack, which is already there. So inside this stun gun, there's a high voltage generator. So this converts 4.8 volt DC into very high voltage, who knows what. But on the app page on eBay, it says 230 million volts, which I think is a bit too much. Let me pull this out and show you what it looks like. Actually, still got some wires stuck inside the switch in here. So let me just cut the wire and show you this item here. Right, so this is the high voltage generator. I just cut the wire, and one end is a high voltage wire. The other end is a DC input. It will take, I believe, from 3 volt to 6 volts. And I got my 18650 battery here. This is about 4 volts right now. And just connect. This red is positive and black is negative. So just connect together like that. And then we got some sparks. It's very loud. The camera doesn't do justice, but this thing is really loud. And let me show you this one here, my homemade stun gun also from one of these, and I also made a video on this. I'm gonna put a link in the description below. You can click on it if you want to watch it. But inside here is also the exact same high voltage generator like this one. You can see the wire, they are exactly the same wiring. And the advertisement on this one, when I bought it, just this piece, okay, it says 400,000 volts, whereas this from this flashlight stun gun, it says that 230 million volts. That is just ridiculous. And let me show you, it's just exactly the same. Let me put the wire closer. Exactly the same thing. And this one is 400,000 volts. This one is 230 million volts, which is just ridiculous. Alright, so here's the exact same high voltage generator on the eBay page, and this is the one I bought earlier to make my homemade stun gun, and it is exactly the same thing for less than $2. And if you look at the title, it says 400,000 volts. Okay, and the ad on the actual stun gun, the Vipertek stun gun, says 230 million volts, which is a little bit phony. So everything about this stun gun is just preposterous. Phony ad, unsafe wiring, all the wirings are exposed, pretty unsafe, and very poor workmanship. There's no insulation. You use clear tape to insulate the wire. It's not even shrink tube. Alright, so let's make it better. Right, so my plan is to rewire everything. This charging circuit here is not gonna be any useful anymore, so it's gonna be removed. There are actually 3 switches. So this switch on the top here is still gonna be used for the LED. There are 2 switches for the sparks generator. One switch on the top, one switch on the bottom, just for safety. And so that these 2 switches will be connected to the generator, and that's pretty much it for the battery. I'm just gonna solder it into the circuit, and then I have an extra connector here which was used for 120 volt AC, which is now not used. I'm gonna solder that into my 18650 battery terminals. That way, when I plug this in, I'm just gonna cut this wire right here. Cut right here. It's not gonna be plugged into 120 volt anymore. Cut this wire, strip it, and when I plug this in, I got 2 wires coming out, so I can plug in my Turnigy balance charger to charge my 18650 that way. Alright, let's get started. And also for the LED, this is the original LED, which is regular, just a regular white LED, 20 milliamp LED, and it went in here like so, like that. Okay, just gonna remove it and put in my new LED. And this LED here is 1 amp, 3.3 volts. I think it's a 1000 milliamp LED. It consumes a lot more power, so that's why it's a lot more brighter. I cut 2 groups onto this plastic piece here, one on this side, one on the other side, and just gonna slide my LED in here like so. It fits in here perfectly. sits perfectly flat. You see that? And solder my wire, and I'll be good to go. Probably have to glue it together, but there it is, perfectly fit. And you can get these kind of LED on eBay for like 10 cents each. I bought 10 of these for $1, free shipping, so that's a pretty good deal. It's a lot better LED than this. Well, let me show you how it works on the top part of the stun gun. So this high voltage generator goes into the two grooves here. There's one here, there's one here, and this is just a clear plastic piece, so it goes on the top like that, and then this go into the two grooves there all the way up, go in there like so, all the way up through that up to the screw on both sides, and then the spark is generated here. It's not connect, I mean it's just loose, it's not connected to the screw, just rather just push it up and contact with the screws over there. That's it. And you can just pull it out like that. Alright, I think I'm almost done here, and before I put it back together, let me show you what I got. I removed the original charger, AC 120 volt charger, and got rid of it and rewired everything. There are 3 circuits in this stun gun. The first circuit is to the stun gun itself, and the negative of the battery goes straight to negative of the stun gun, let's call it a high voltage generator. The positive goes to the first switch, and then goes to the second switch, and the first switch acts as a safety feature, so the first switch has to be on in order for the second switch to work. So it's first have to turn this on first, and it press this button that will activate the stun gun. If this is not on, you press this button, it does nothing. Okay. The second switch is for the indicator light. So this LED here goes to the bottom right here, the round part, the round hole right here was the LED, so I removed it. But originally this LED was for the 120 volt charging circuit, which is this. You plug this into a wall outlet, right, and then plug the other end to that 2-prong connector, and then this LED will light up, will show you that it's charging. But that's pretty much useless for me. I want an indicator light that shows when the device is ready for the stun gun. So I rewired the LED for the first switch, so when I turn on the first switch, the LED will turn on to indicate that the stun gun is ready to fire. So I only have to press this button when I see this LED light. The original LED comes with a resistor that is very large resistor, large value resistor, 200,000 ohm. This one here is only 120 ohm, I think. And that's because the original voltage was 120 volt AC. This here only about 4 volts DC. So I only have to need a smaller resistor. And to calculate the resistor value, here is the calculation. I just use Ohm's law, and this is because the LED is a red LED, so it's only 2 volt 20 milliamp LED. So I have excess voltage which I need to eliminate otherwise I'll burn out the LED. So I got 2.2 volt excess voltage. So I'm just gonna use Ohm's law, and the calculation gives me 110 ohm resistor. Okay, so that's the second circuit. Let me turn this on, show you the LED. See, when you turn this on and arm the unit, which is this switch here, should be on the bottom right here, this LED will light up to indicate that the unit is ready to fire. So you just press this button. If you see this light, press this button and the stun gun will activate. This is a lot more useful because most of the time when you need to use this stun gun, you're going to be in the dark. And when you're in the dark, it's hard for you to see whether this is on or off without an indicator light. So this light here will help you a lot, especially when you're in a dangerous situation. You only have little time to react. You don't want to waste your time and fumble around looking for this switch to see whether it's on or off. You won't have time for that. So if you see this LED light lit up, you know it's ready to fire. So just press this button and that will activate the stun gun. And when you turn off the first switch, which is on the bottom here again, this will turn off. That will indicate the stun gun is not ready. So when you don't see this light lit up, press this button, nothing will happen. It's a lot more useful than having an LED light here to indicate that the unit is charging, which is pretty much useless. And the third circuit is the actual flashlight itself. This is the LED beeps that I showed you earlier. This is a 3.5 3 volt to 3.7 volt LED, and this is 1 amp, so it's about 3 to 5 watts. And because it's higher voltage and higher amperage, I only need a smaller resistor, and I use the same Ohm's law. This is the same Ohm's law, like this. Not the same value, but the same equations. I come up with the resistor around 3 to 5 ohm. And resistor is soldered onto the positive terminal of the LED through the wire, and wire goes straight to the switch, the light switch here. The other end of the switch goes straight to the positive of the battery, and the negative of the LED goes straight to the negative of the battery. So let me demonstrate here. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. I don't think I can do it with this one hand. Hold on. Right, I got my tripod on now. So positive end from the switch go to the positive of the battery. Negative, I'm going to solder directly to negative of the battery. And if I turn on the, let me turn this way. I turn on the switch. I don't have good connection here. Hold on. Let's try again. There you go. The LED will be on. Okay. Off. On. This LED is a lot brighter than the original LED. That makes it a lot more useful. And finally, I'm going to have to find a way to charge my 18650. And to do that, I'm going to use this connector on the back here. It used to be 120 volt AC. So I'm going to wire two wires coming from the two terminals of the battery. Wire to these two terminals of that plug right there, coming out there. And then I'm going to use this wire. I'm going to cut this wire. And then probably use an XT60 and plug in my 20G RC charger. to charge this battery. So I'm going to show that to you later, but now let's put it back together. Alright, almost there. Final checkup before putting it back together. Switch on, LED on, armed, and fire working. And let's see, flashlight, switch on, working, good to go. This wire connected externally to the external plug right here. Turn it off. External plug right here, so I can charge the battery. Alright, I think I'm done. Let's try it out. Flashlight, very bright, probably about 10 times as bright as the original LED. And this does not have to be turned on in order to use a flashlight. Now we press this button, does not work. So I have to turn this on. LED indicator on, is armed, working, and the flashlight works with the stun gun at the same time. Okay, pretty cool here. And also the 18650 battery just not fit into this stun gun, so it stay right here like that. The high voltage generator stay up here like that, so it's not fit. And this battery probably about 5 times the power as this pack. And this it self-discharge. It has a very fast self-discharge, and it doesn't have a lot of capacity. So if you use a flashlight for a while, maybe about half an hour or so, you run out of juice. And when you need to use the stun gun the most, it's not gonna work. Whereas this battery, it does not self-discharge. It lasts a long time, and it will work when you need it the most. So, and also, I'll show you my charging port here. And here's the wire right here. This is the wire that I cut from the original 120 volt AC charging wire. So I cut this part, solder an XT60 charger on it. Now I just have to plug it in. I glue a little piece of wire in the middle because there's a groove in the middle of the plug, as you can see here. So that way, when I plug in, there's only one way to go in, so I don't mess it up. Otherwise, it's going to be full bar. Let me get the Tonergy charger, and I'll show you that I can charge the battery using this plug. Alright, got my Tonergy charger ready, and actually let me show you the voltage coming out of this jack first. .1 volts coming out of this jack. So that is the voltage of the 18650 inside here. And let me plug it in and charge it. See if it works. Right, plug in. There's only one way to plug in. And boom. No smoke. LiPo 1 amp. Let me see. LiPo. Let's do half an amp. Battery check. Ready. Confirm. There you go. It's charging. Of course, battery is almost full, so it doesn't charge at half an amp. So it's reduced the amperage, but it is charging right now. Alright, so that's how I would have to charge my 18650 inside this. I don't have to take it out, just plug it in the wire, plug in my charger, good to go. Right, time for some fun. Got a stun gun connected to my wire, and then go out to my rocket launcher thingy, and let's see if it works. Turn it on. LED on.
Maybe not.
Let's see.
Let's see.
Yeah. There, it works. So, I got a milk bottle here. You got the idea, and some alcohol. Alright, so here's what I got. Bottle of denatured alcohol, heat, which is methanol, and some WD-40. And do a cap on the milk bottle. Let's see what we got. Got some denatured alcohol in first. A little bit. Yeah. Shake it up. Got some methanol. By the way, don't try this at home, folks. Only for professional. Do not try this at home, seriously. Shake it up a little bit. Alright. Maybe some WD-40. See how that helps. Some spray. Should be enough. Maybe a little bit more, because this is 1 gallon. Alright. Shake it up a little bit. Alright, I think I'm ready. I'm about 100 feet away. Hopefully that should be safe enough. Ready? 3, 2, 1. There you go. There's the bottle. It's still pretty hot. Got a big hole right here. That would be a great rocket in it. I think the liquid coming out with just water and milk. Still got milk in here. Alright folks, that's it for now. And thanks for watching. And I'll see you next time.